It's somewhere after midnight. You wake up for no particular reason. A sound, a shift in the room, the absence of something you can't name. And there it is, your cat sitting at the foot of the bed, or on the dresser, or at the doorway, completely still, not moving, not making a sound, just watching you with an unblinking intensity that would be unsettling on any other living thing. Most people laugh it off. Weird cat behavior, just their thing. But consider what's actually happening. Cats are apex predators with a visual system refined over millions of years for one specific purpose: detecting, tracking, and targeting prey. When a cat holds still and stares without blinking, the biological explanation, the one evolution wrote, is that something is being hunted and they're staring at you. Before you decide what that means, there's something you need to understand about how cats actually use their eyes, because the stare your cat directs at you is not the stare they use on prey. Not even close. The difference between those two stares is one of the most revealing things behavioral science has documented about what your cat thinks you are. Let's start with the predatory stare, because it deserves to be understood before it's dismissed. A cat hunting uses complete postural stillness combined with a locked, unblinking gaze directed at a target. The pupils dilate, the body lowers, the tail, if it moves at all, moves slowly at the tip. Everything else is frozen. This is the visual lock-on state, a neurological mode in which the cat's visual cortex has filtered out almost everything except the target and its movement. It looks, from the outside, exactly like your cat staring at you from across the room. But watch the body, watch the tail, watch what the cat does next. A cat in predatory lock is coiled. The stillness is tension, not relaxation, and the gaze terminates in a strike, a chase, or an abandonment when the target stops moving. The stare your cat gives you, the one you wake up to, the one from across the kitchen, the one that holds even when you shift in your chair, doesn't end that way. The body is loose, the tail is still, and when you meet their eyes, something different happens entirely. Here's the thing that changes how you understand all of it. Among cats, sustained eye contact is a threat. In feral colonies and multi-cat households, direct but prolonged eye contact between two cats reliably precedes confrontation. Yet it is one of the primary signals in feline dominance communication, the visual equivalent of a challenge. The cat that looks away first is the one that backs down. The cat that holds the gaze is the one escalating. Daniel Mills and his colleagues at the University of Lincoln's Animal Behavior and Welfare Research Group, whose work on feline social behavior in multi-cat households has been published across more than a decade in journals, including Applied Animal Behavior Science, documented that cats in stable group living situations actively avoid direct eye contact during neutral encounters. They develop an elaborate system of indirect glancing, gaze aversion, and strategic blinking specifically to prevent confrontation from starting. Eye contact is not held casually. It is managed. Staring between cats is not neutral, loaded. And yet, your cat stares directly at you, holds your gaze, seeks out your eyes from across the room. They know what staring means. They use it on other cats. They understand exactly how charged that act is. And they do it to you anyway. Because at some point in the process of living with you, you were reclassified, removed from the category of entities that eye contact carries threat about. You became something that their visual system could point directly at without the circuits that govern confrontation activating at all. Safe. Sit with that for a moment, because it means something very specific about what category you occupy in your cat's brain. And most owners never realize they've been placed there. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because something neurochemical is happening during that gaze that most owners have no idea about. Research by Karen McComb's group at the University of Sussex, published in Behavioral Processes, recorded the gaze behavior of cat owner pairs in their home environments and found that cats oriented their gaze preferentially toward their owners compared to unfamiliar humans during neutral interactions. The orientation was selective, not toward the food bowl, not toward activity in the room, toward a specific face. Yours. The neurochemical explanation for why that gaze matters comes from work on the cross-species bond itself. In 2015, Miho Nagasawa and a team at Azabu University in Japan published a study in the journal Science, one of the most prestigious scientific journals on the planet, measuring oxytocin levels in 30 dog owner pairs during interaction. Oxytocin is the neurochemical your brain releases when you feel bonded to someone. The same molecule that floods a mother's brain when she holds her newborn for the first time. When a dog gazed at their owner and the owner gazed back, both of them experienced a surge in oxytocin simultaneously across species. The dog's levels went up, the owner's levels went up, which made the dog want to gaze more, which released more oxytocin, which deepened the bond, a self-reinforcing neurochemical loop. They tested the same interaction with wolves raised by humans. The loop didn't activate at all. It co-evolved specifically between domestic animals and humans over thousands of years of living together. Research since then has confirmed that cats who engage in frequent mutual gaze with their owners show the elevated affiliative behaviors consistent with bonding. The same mechanism, a different animal, the same result. Your cat isn't zoning out. They're bonding with you, one unblinking gaze at a time. Now let's talk about what the pupils are actually telling you, because this is where most people have it backwards. The assumption is that wide dilated pupils mean a cat is happy, relaxed. In humans, pupil dilation often signals openness and interest, so it feels like the right read. It isn't. Martin Banks and a team at the University of California, a Berkeley published research in 2015 in the journal Science Advances, showing that vertically slit pupils are characteristic adaptation of ground-level ambush predators, and that the extreme constriction to dilation range found in cats functions as an involuntary gauge of emotional intensity more than a simple light response mechanism. Dilated pupils during a stare mean heightened arousal, excitement, fear, overstimulation. A cat staring at you with fully blown pupils is not relaxed. Something has activated them. Play drive, a sound outside, the early stages of something they need you to notice. Constricted pupils during a stare, combined with a loose body, mean the opposite. Calm, assessment, contentment, and the half-closed, heavy-lidded look, a sustained, soft gaze with eyes that seem to be slowly losing interest in staying open, is the highest expression of ease a cat is capable of showing. The visual threat monitoring system that governs every waking moment is being voluntarily powered down. When your cat looks at you like that, they are not bored. They are the opposite of bored. They are neurologically at rest. And the thing they have chosen to be at rest in front of is you. which brings us to what you should actually do when your cat holds your gaze. In 2020, Tasman Humphrey and Karen McComb at the University of Sussex published the first controlled experimental study of the slow blink in cat-human communication in the journal Scientific Reports. They tested two things. When owners slow blinked at their cats, did cats respond in kind? The answer was yes. Cats slow blinked back at significantly higher rates than in no interaction conditions. And when complete strangers slow blinked at unfamiliar cats they had never met, the cats were more likely to approach the stranger's outstretched hand afterward. The researchers described the slow blink as functioning like the Duchenne smile in humans. The genuine smile that reaches the eyes, that cannot be fully faked, that registers as authentic across all contexts. In the same body of research, shelter cats who responded to human slow blinks were rehomed faster than those who did not. The slow blink literally changes life outcomes for cats in ways they cannot achieve by any other means. So the next time your cat stares at you, slow blink back, close your eyes slowly, open them slowly, look slightly away. You are not breaking the stare. You are answering it in the one language their visual system was built to receive. Here's something most people never consider about the stare. It isn't only outgoing, it's incoming. Your cat, while holding your gaze, is processing your face in ways the science has only recently mapped. In 2015, Mariah Galvin and Jennifer Vonk at Oakland University published a study in the journal Animal Cognition, exposing domestic cats to their owners displaying happy versus angry facial expressions. The cats spent significantly more time near their owners when the owner looked happy, more contact-seeking, more affiliative behavior, and showed clear avoidance when the owner looked angry. With unfamiliar humans, the effect largely disappeared. The cats were reading your face, not faces in general. Yours. A separate study from the University of Vienna found that cats can integrate emotional vocalizations with corresponding or non-corresponding facial expressions, suggesting they are combining what they hear and what they see to build a working model of your internal state. When your cat stares at you while you sit quietly, they are not quiet themselves. They are updating something, taking in whether you are calm, distressed, focused elsewhere, available. They are paying more attention to you than most people pay to the person sitting across from them at dinner. The stare that looks like absence is the full presence of an animal that has decided you are worth understanding. But there is one more version of this, and it is the one that sounds strangest until you hear it for the first time. Some cats, not all, but the ones who have settled deepest into the bond, do not stare at you in silence. They add a sound, a soft, rapid trill, a chirr at the back of the throat, quick and warm, nothing like the urgent chattering they make at birds through a window. You know that chattering sound, the staccato clicking a cat makes when a pigeon lands on the sill, that hard, predatory urgency of a system locked onto prey it can't reach. This is different, quieter. The same mouth, a completely different meaning. Research on feline vocal communication has documented the trill as a distinct vocalization category, produced by mothers to call kittens to follow them, and retained in adult house cats as a high affiliation greeting, directed specifically at bonded individuals. It is one of the few vocalizations that survived into adulthood intact. And it survived because it kept working. The animal on the receiving end kept responding. When a cat trills while staring at you, the predatory visual system and the attachment vocal system are running at the same time. The fact that the sound is soft and unhurried tells you exactly which one is in charge. The attachment circuit is winning. Which brings us to the 2 a.m. stare. Cats have 6 to 8 times more rod photoreceptors than the human eye, and a reflective layer behind the retina, the tapetum lucidum, that amplifies available light. They navigate comfortably in near total darkness. They could be watching anything. They are watching you. In a 2019 study by Kristen Vitale and Monique Udell at Oregon State University, the same research team that documented secure attachment patterns in 65 cats, bonded cats were found to orient their proximity-seeking behavior toward their attachment figure, even during periods of inactivity and rest. The secure base didn't switch off when the environment was calm. It reorganized around wherever you were, including while you slept. A solitary predator with no evolutionary reason to stand watch over another living thing, watching you anyway. Not because you trained them to, not because anything is wrong, because you became worth watching over. There is one type of staring that works differently, and you should know how to recognize it. Sometimes the change has an environmental explanation first. A new animal in the house, a shift in your schedule, a disruption in the household routine that feels minor to you, but registers seismically to a cat whose sense of safety is built on predictability. A cat that suddenly stops seeking your eyes or stops orienting toward you across a room may simply be recalibrating to something that has changed around them. Watch for that first. But when the staring changes in a neurological direction, when your cat gazes fixedly at a wall, a corner, or empty space, unresponsive to sound or movement, completely absent in a way that feels different from their normal watching, that warrants a different kind of attention. Feline cognitive dysfunction, affecting an estimated 35% of cats over 11 years old, can produce episodes of vacant, confused staring, focal seizures, which cats can experience without full convulsions, sometimes manifest as sudden fixed gazing, accompanied by minor facial twitching or unresponsiveness. If your cat stares in a way that doesn't acknowledge you when you speak or move, or seems to be looking at something that isn't there, for more than a few seconds at a time, have them evaluated. The stare that worries you doesn't look like the stare that means something good. When you've lived with a cat long enough, you know the difference. Trust that. Here's the full picture. In the world of cats, sustained eye contact is confrontation. It is how one cat tells another that a challenge is coming, that this is not a neutral moment, that something is about to be decided. Every cat on Earth understands this. It is baked into the species. And your cat looks at you anyway. Yeah, with pupils soft and body loose, from across the room at 2 a.m, from the chair across the kitchen while you make coffee. Not in challenge, not in threat. With a gaze that builds a neurochemical loop in both of you that neither of you consciously decided to start. A solitary predator whose entire species evolved to treat direct eye contact as the opening move in a confrontation, and who looks at you and holds that gaze and finds something in it other than threat, not because they forgot the rules, because you are the one exception to every rule they know. If this changed what you see when your cat looks at you, subscribe, leave a comment. Does your cat stare at you in the dark or while you're doing something completely ordinary. Tell me when it happens, right? And if you want to understand what's happening in your cat's brain in the hours you're gone, what they actually do, what the cameras actually show, that's the next video. And it is not what most owners assume.